Imagine everything you know about humanity's origin has a missing chapter, one so dangerous it was silenced for centuries. In the secret Gnostic writings, Adam isn't just clay molded by a benevolent god, he's a radiant being powerful enough to challenge the very architects of our world. According to these banned texts, the god we've been taught to worship was, in fact, a lesser deity named Yaldabaoth. Terrified of humanity's potential, he shrouded our true nature behind illusions of flesh and fear. If you've ever felt a subtle ache for something more, like a faint echo of lost divinity, this story might confirm your suspicions, because as you'll see, the moment Adam realized his hidden power, everything changed. To grasp the full impact of Adam's awakening, we must first meet Yaldabaoth, the god who believed himself supreme. Unlike the all-good, all-knowing father many envision, Yaldabaoth was depicted as arrogant and incomplete. Born from a cosmic accident rather than absolute purity, he fashioned the physical realm and its rules, determined to remain unchallenged. Yet behind this facade of authority lurked a deep insecurity. He sensed there was a higher, truer source. Above him, the Gnostics claimed he birthed Archons, cosmic enforcers, to tighten his grip on creation. Whenever humans questioned the boundaries of reality, these Archons sowed fear and confusion. It's a stark contrast to the mainstream view of a nurturing creator. Here, ignorance becomes a weapon, used to keep us from probing beyond the material world. Why? Because if we learn that Yaldabaoth isn't truly the pinnacle of divinity, his power unravels. In this cosmic chess game, Adam stands as the ultimate threat. His mere existence could topple the illusions that prop up Yaldabaoth's reign. In the traditional Genesis account, Adam is formed from dust and given life by God's breath. But in the forbidden Gnostic texts, Adam's spiritual self predates his flesh. He's portrayed as an emanation of a higher light, possessing an innate brilliance that surpassed the Archons. Alarmed, Yaldabaoth and his servants created a physical body to confine Adam's luminous soul, hoping he would forget his celestial heritage. Have you ever sensed you were meant for more? As though a glimmer of infinite possibility flickers within you. That's the hidden story of Adam, a being whose original power was so immense, it threatened the cosmic order. By locking him in flesh, Yaldabaoth believed he'd tamed Adam's divine spark, but no prison can fully contain pure light. This tension between the spiritual flame and the shackles of corporeal existence forms the heart of the Gnostic narrative. The quest for self-discovery becomes not just an individual journey, but an act of rebellion against a flawed deity seeking to keep us blind. The tale of Adam and Eve's fall typically highlights sin and disobedience. Yet for the Gnostics, the fruit of the tree of knowledge wasn't a cursed temptation. It was enlightenment. Yaldabaoth forbade it because knowledge would unlock Adam's, and by extension, humanity's true potential. Once Adam and Eve tasted that fruit, their eyes opened to the cosmic deceit around them, recognizing they were more than mortal playthings. Such awareness spells disaster for any tyrant. Imagine ruling over a people who suddenly realize they're not just subjects, but equals, or even superiors. Desperate to maintain control, Yaldabaoth cast Adam and Eve out of Eden, severing them from direct communion with higher truth. In this light, the so-called fall of man becomes a bold step toward reclaiming divine identity. The Gnostics saw the punishment as a desperate attempt to reinstate ignorance, the most potent weapon against spiritual empowerment. Fast forward to the early centuries of Christianity. Organized doctrine was taking shape, and church leaders sought to unify teachings under an orthodox banner. Suddenly, Gnostic ideas insisting that the God of traditional belief might be an impostor posed an existential threat to ecclesiastical power. After all, if people believed in forging a direct bond with higher reality, they might sidestep clerical authority entirely. By labeling Gnostics as heretics, The institutional church effectively silenced an entire lineage of mystical thought. Texts like On the Origin of the World were hidden away only to resurface in the mid-20th century at Nag Hammadi. The shockwaves of these discoveries still ripple today. Why? Because they challenge the bedrock assumptions of orthodox faith, painting a bigger, more complex spiritual landscape. If knowledge truly sets us free, then the Gnostics' claims threatened a system reliant on sanctioned gatekeepers. Adam's story, once buried and labeled forbidden, re-emerged to remind us of that subversive call to know thyself. One of the most electrifying aspects of Gnosticism is the concept of the divine spark, a fragment of the true source embedded in every human. This spark mirrors Adam's original radiance, lying dormant until awakened by knowledge or personal revelation. Think of it as a tiny ember of cosmic flame that never fully extinguishes, no matter how heavy the layers of doubt or distraction become. This notion is deeply hopeful. It implies we're not merely sinners awaiting external rescue. We're luminous souls temporarily veiled by a lower realm's illusions. Society often demands we chase money, status, or security. According to Gnostic thought, these pursuits can be traps designed by Archons to keep our attention outward. Yet, the moment we sense there's more, a deeper resonance within, the spark grows. Awakening it is personal liberation, an act Yaldabaoth dreads. For if too many remember their origin, the entire matrix of fear and control collapses. So how do we inherit Adam's secret? The Gnostics would say, seek gnosis, inner wisdom that transcends dogma. This involves questioning official narratives, listening to your intuition, and engaging with teachings that spark recognition. If you've ever looked at the night sky and felt both small and infinitely connected, you're brushing against that legacy. Claiming Adam's power means embracing the idea that you carry a piece of the true source. In a world teeming with distractions, it takes courage to explore spirituality on your own terms. But the reward, the ancient texts promise, is profound: liberation from fear. It's the revelation that you are more than a pawn in any cosmic game. You're imbued with the same luminosity that once threatened a lesser god's dominion. This is the beating heart of Adam's saga, a legacy you can choose to awaken. Picture a life where the daily grind doesn't eclipse your inherent worth, where the yearning for something more becomes a roadmap to your true nature. That's the gift hidden in Adam's story, an invitation to recall that you were, in a sense, forged of light. Yaldabaoth feared this potential and worked tirelessly to stifle it. But, as history shows, knowledge rarely stays buried for long. These banned texts survived the centuries because truth has a way of resurfacing. Their message is as relevant now as it was then. We are participants in a vast cosmic tapestry, not mere spectators. If a flawed deity once trembled at Adam's awakening, perhaps we too can spark that same sense of liberation. Breaking free from illusions requires boldness. It often means challenging the voices that insist you're powerless. Yet each step toward self-awareness is a direct affront to the forces that profit from your ignorance. It's a reclaiming of something sacred, your capacity to seek, to question, and ultimately to know yourself beyond labels and limitations. The Gnostics believed that in doing so, we'd not only emulate Adam, we'd surpass the constraints that once bound him. So here's your call to action. Dare to question the world's official script. Look within for that ember of divinity. Let it guide you toward a horizon where fear falls away and boundless possibility takes its place. If Adam's journey teaches us anything, it's that even the mightiest illusions crumble when confronted by awakened soul. That awakening lies in your hand. Embrace it and step into the ancient legacy that was deemed too dangerous to remain in plain sight. As you carry these ideas forward, remember that true power grows in the questions you dare to ask. If the Gnostics were right, then each of us holds a spark so potent It can outshine the gloom of any imposed reality. Let this knowledge be your compass. Revisit Adam's banned secret whenever the noise of life drowns out your deeper calling. In that timeless story, you just might find the key to unlocking your own radiant potential.